10 Things Millionaires Never Buy. Do you love spending money? And do you love spending it on cute little things that you don't actually need but just want to have anyways? It's funny how we work super hard for the money but then waste it on unnecessary stuff. But then we also complain about how we don't have money, or at least not enough of it. Isn't that a weird human characteristic? We also complain about how we work super hard, how we barely have any free time, yet we still keep spending our hard-earned money on random things. Just write down and count the amount of money that goes through your hands every month, and then do the math and see which amount went through them from the day you started earning until today. Then try and calculate how much you have saved if you saved any at all. The odds are that a lot of money went through your hands and that you probably have not saved at all. The question is why, and the answer is very simple, because you spend it on unnecessary things. So let's see which are those things that an average person spends their money on while millionaires never buy it. Number 1. Cars. The biggest money wasters of all time. Let's say you have saved some money and decided to buy a car. Instead of struggling to take a loan, you buy it for cash, not knowing that the real cost of owning a car comes after it becomes yours. Drowning in the happiness of finally being on wheels, you don't realize how much you keep spending on it and how your monthly and weekly costs are now way higher than they were before you were a car owner. And I'm not just talking about gas, I'm talking about parking costs that at the moment of parking seem very low, but once you count every cent you've spent on parking, it comes to a good amount at the end of the month. There's also car insurance, which costs a fortune, as well as the money you need to put aside in case something breaks down. Maybe the first year you are not going to spend much, but as your car gets older, your expenses start to rise. Buying a car only makes sense when you live outside the city, have kids that you have to drive to school every day, or have no other choice but to own a car to move around. But other than that, it is a way better deal to use public transport or Uber when you actually need it. Another reason cars cost you more when you own them is that you get so comfortable with going everywhere by a car that where you would once go on foot or would bike, you're now going by car, and this new level of laziness consumes your gas and therefore more money. Number 2, don't buy the stuff you need if they are not on sale. It's crucial that you learn to make a difference between the things you need and the things you want. So a new makeup brush is what you want, but toothpaste, food, and a bar of soap are what you need, because you're not going to wake up one morning and suddenly stop eating or taking care of your hygiene, but you will wake up and realize that your makeup brush is just fine and that it's not really crucial to buy a new one right away. So there is a list of things you need to lead your normal life, and you need them always, so developing a habit of shopping on sales is a great way to save some money, because it doesn't make a big difference if you buy a bar of soap today or tomorrow when it's on sale. Because by shopping this way, you'll have a stock of these items and you won't find yourself in a situation where you run out and need to go shopping immediately. This certainly doesn't mean that you should become a hoarder, but having an extra tube of toothpaste or two won't expire that soon and will mean a lot when you use up the tube you're using right now. Every now and then, there are going to be discounts, because that's how stores work. Their supplier delivers products every week or every month, and the store has to get rid of that merch before the next merch arrives. So the best way to get rid of your current products is to put them on sale and let people who shop on sale only finally buy them. Number 3, clothes. Don't just buy clothes whenever you want, but rather buy them whenever they are at a discount. Clothing stores work pretty much the same as grocery stores, with the only difference being that clothes don't have an expiration date. So if something costs $100 originally and the discounted price keeps going down, you end up purchasing it for only $10 or $20, then it leaves us wondering about the real value of the product, right? So please stop wasting your money on new collections, because within a month or two, these clothes will be discounted and you'll be able to buy them for just a few bucks. It's not going to save you a ton of money if you do it once or twice, but once you turn it into a habit over a long period, it's going to save you a fortune. Number 4, coffee. Oh, that famous, delicious cup of your favorite Starbucks coffee that you wouldn't give up for anything is actually a huge reason you keep being broke. You buy for $5 what you can make at home for 50 cents, and you keep repeating it every single day for so many years that when you do the math, it actually costs you a fortune. Of course, the cafe has to pay wages, electricity, rent, and a lot of other expenses, so it makes sense to set a $5 price for it. But is that exact coffee really that necessary every single day? Couldn't you make it at home, really? If you are going to spend hours sitting in that Starbucks doing whatever you have to do, then okay, but to pay that much money just to drink coffee in your car is insane. 5. Unhealthy snacks. Nobody will accept this easily because everybody loves sweets, and telling people to stop buying them is something people wouldn't take well, but the reason for this is because they're both unhealthy and expensive. You might not think of it that way, but the reality is that going to Starbucks for a coffee and a slice of cake costs you the same as a healthy lunch. So by stopping the waste of money that goes to unhealthy snacks, you're gonna do a favor to both your health and your wallet. Number 6, stop giving loans to your friends. Stop fooling yourself into thinking that when you give a loan to your friend that they will give it back to you. Yeah, sure. That money is forever gone, my friend, whether you accept it or not, and only 1% of those friends that took loans from you will actually give you back your money. And if you happen to have friends that will give it back, it will take years for them to be able to pay off the loan. You'll also have to keep reminding them constantly, and that is truly uncomfortable, so the majority of them will probably ghost you at some point because they will never return it on time and will start running away from you just so they don't feel uncomfortable. Number 7, alcohol. A few bucks here and there doesn't seem like a lot, but at the end of the month, when you do your math, you'll see that $20 here and $30 there adds up, and you realize you're spending quite a lot weekly, monthly, and yearly. And imagine if you have counted every drink for the last 10 years, you would probably be able to buy a car now if you put that money aside instead. Having fun with your friends is great, but does it really have to be that expensive? Number 8, eating out or ordering takeout. This is totally fine from time to time, but if it happens every day and even multiple times a day, then it's a problem. The amount of money you pay for a meal at a restaurant or for a takeout meal is the amount that could feed 4 people if they cooked food at home. And if you're constantly ordering takeout and going to restaurants, then you're wasting so much money, and all of that just because you're too lazy to feed yourself. That's why it's important to stop being destructive. Go to that grocery store and cook that meal. And if you don't feel like cooking every day, then you could spend a few hours once a week preparing meals, and then when you're hungry, you'll just need to take that food out of the fridge and pop it in the microwave. This way, you're not only getting your food faster rather than waiting an hour for delivery to arrive, but you're also getting a fresh and warm meal, which is way healthier as well. Number 9, expensive gadgets. It's great to have good gadgets, but do you really need to buy all those expensive ones as soon as they come out? The latest technology is better, and that's a fact, but do you know what is also a fact? That you don't need it. iPhone 13 is still great, so did you really need the 14 as soon as it came out? This doesn't mean you won't have it ever. In fact, you will, but you'd need to wait for only a little until its price drops. And this applies to everything. Why invest in something new when the gadget you're currently using is still new and works perfectly fine? The thing is that low-end smartphones offer the same exact features as the new ones. They're just not called the same name. So don't be a victim of great marketing. Think clearly and do your research before you buy something. Number 10. Subscriptions. Wealth seekers understand that small expenses can add up over time, and subscription services are a prime example of this. They are careful to avoid wasting money on expensive cell phone plans and instead opt for a more cost-effective option like Mint Mobile or Visible, for example. Cable TV, Netflix, Hulu, and other streaming services may be convenient, but they can also be a burden on the wallet. So rather than subscribing to multiple services, choose only one and consider other options such as watching free content from your library or on YouTube. Another big waste of money are gym memberships, especially if they go unused. Instead, money-minded people might opt for a more cost-effective option, such as working out at home or going for a run outside. This brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell button so you can get notified whenever there's a new business-related video ready for you.